Yeah. You know, you'd think he'd learn after a while. Well, now nothing can stop me from stealing his Doctor Who collection. Let's see. Oh, how about this one? Yes, Key to Time Special Edition featuring the Fourth Doctor. Hey, you're gonna wake up the idiot downstairs.
Hi,
Shush!
it's me, the Dynamic Duover.
How the hell did you get up there? The door's closed. And it's locked.
I have super speed, unlike the Flash. Now I'm going to take you away. But first, because you broke into my house, how about we review the Flash? Because I just brought it up, and because I'm super fast now, which is awesome. So let's review it, shall we?
Sure.
Yeah, the Flash. What do you think of the Flash? Let's go over your thoughts, because you never saw that episode before I showed it to you.
Flash. Well, definitely, a lot more, brighter, or less dark than Arrow.
Yeah, that's true. I think the reason why it was supposed to get people into a superhero show and not a drama-like show.
True, definitely, but overall, I still think that The Flash has a better, I shouldn't say it has better acting than Arrow. Like, no one can pull off an Oliver Queen live action than whoever who plays it.
Anyways, yeah. So let's begin this review. We begin right before the episode where Barry Allen is in the Arrow in season 2. It's set a few hours earlier before he went to Stalling City.
Mm-hmm.
Where we see his life before the accident that makes him super fast. He was
a forensic scientist.
That. And we also saw the characters, Iris West.
Joe West.
Yeah, Joe West was a cop that took him in after his mother was killed and his father was framed and went to jail. And from what we see, Barry has a crush on Iris and Joe is like a father to him.
So that makes that really awkward.
Yeah. And we find out that Barry's a huge fan of a scientist called Harrison Wells.
Harrison Wells, or so we thought.
And what? Yes, he is a fan of.
Okay, I know he's a fan of Harrison Wells, but Harrison Wells isn't who we think.
Okay, yeah, no spoilers. And from what we see of Mr. Harrison Wells, he's kind of like this person that's trying to do the right thing for Barry. We will get onto that later. So after Barry gets back from Stalling City, he heads to the particle accelerator that was created by Dr. Harrison Wells. And it's supposed to open up new science, new medical treatment, and a lot of other science stuff that I really don't care about. And
call it more of a demonstration.
Demonstration, yes. Iris and Barry heads down there, but Iris' bag is stolen and Barry chases after the mugger. Can I call him a mugger?
Well, that's what they called him. Too bad he didn't have his powers. Would have been a lot more sufficient.
Yeah, and so, where basically Barry just loses. He just gets knocked in the gut and
hit in the face with a laptop and smacked him.
And the mugger gets away at it, and the mugger is stopped by Eddie Thorne. And he is a detective working for the Central City Police. And yeah, that's about all we see from him. And during this time, Detective Joe West is hunting down Martin Brothers. And they are getting away. Clyde Martin shoots Detective West's partner, and he dies, sadly. And Barry couldn't get back into the particle accelerator demonstration, so he just heads back to his lab, where he has this giant newspaper collection of information about impossible things and the death of his mother. Because when he was little, he saw his mother get murdered by something that was impossible, something that moved. as fast as a speeding bullet. From what we see, the particle accelerator just explodes, and bursts of energy in forms of lightning or basically a wave.
Electronic magnetic pulses.
Yes. And one of them hits Barry Allen, which is very similar to his origins in the comic, where he gets struck by lightning and thrown into chemicals.
That's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Except it went a little differently.
And where he's taken to the hospital, where we cut to 9 months later, where we meet the Solar Labs crew. Dr. Caitlin Snow and Cisco Vibe. And those are characters in DC's comics. And for those who know, Caitlin Snow is the
alter ego
of Killer Frost.
Ooh.
A supervillain that fights against Firestorm most of the time. And then we have Cisco
Ramon.
Yeah. He is the alter ego of the Vibe, which has been introduced in season 2.
Still not as cool.
Well, you haven't seen season 2 yet.
But I know who the Vibe is.
Introduced to Harrison Wells, who's now wheelchair bound for the rest of his life because for some reason he wasn't granted powers like everyone else's. Where Barry leaves the Solar Labs after they explain what happened to him, and we get a nice reference to Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah, you can see that Grodd's cage has been broken open.
Yeah. So we head to where Barry meets up with Iris and
CC Jitters.
And this is where Barry starts to discover his powers, because for him, when someone dropped
it was a tray of coffee and whatnot.
And everything starts to move slow.
Or so we thought. If anything, he was moving really fast.
And, well, then he heads to see Joe, and the same thing happens, but this time he stops a criminal from grabbing a gun. Noticing these changes, he goes to Solar Labs, and where they explain that the particle accelerator unleash dark matter and what else?
It was dark matter and
lots of other science stuff. And they tell Barry that he was granted this power through the lightning bolt. But it turns out Clyde Morton, one of the Morton brothers, has survived a plane crash that went down when the accelerator exploded. And is now gifted the power to control the weather. And then we get to see Barry just hanging out with Iris, basically. Oh, and I forgot to mention, Eddie is now Joe West's partner.
Oh, well, that's going to be...
And is now going out with Iris, too.
Oh, that's kicking me out.
And this character is mostly based on Hunter Zolomon. I know, not the same name, but this character mainly have the story arc of Hunter Zolomon in the comics. He helps the Flash out. He works with the police. The only thing different is not that he's not a bad guy, not a speedster.
Mm.
So yeah, Clyde Morton has stolen the car. Police are after him. Barry runs super fast and gets into the car.
Flips over the car as soon as he sees him grab the gun.
And Morton uses his elemental powers to create a
like a fog to disappear in, basically.
And it caused another car crash. After these events, Joe West, he's not very kind to what he says to Barry after he tries to explain to Joe that what he saw was supernatural, like how Morton was alive and how he could now control the weather. And what Joe says that he should stop looking for the paranormal, that he has to come to terms that his father killed his mother, basically. He said that in a rude manner.
Yeah, he's like, your father killed your mother. You gotta, it was kind of rude.
You know, if I was the Flash, I would have just grabbed him and took him to the other side of the city and said, there's your proof.
There's your supernatural abilities.
But Barry doesn't and heads back to where the Solar Labs and tries to convince them to help him stop these metahumans, which they are calling these people with powers. And Dr. Harrison Wells tells Barry, no, you're not a superhero. You were just struck by lightning. That's all you are. So Barry runs Sling City, where he meets
The Green Arrow.
just the Arrow.
I hate that. It bugs me. It's called Green Arrow for a reason.
Don't worry, season 4, he's the Green Arrow.
Good.
So yeah, when the Arrow, Oliver Queen tells the Flash that he wasn't just a man struck by lightning. He has a purpose and he should believe that he can be a superhero.
Definitely. He said he inspires more people than Oliver ever could.
We head back to Central City where Joe and Eddie are looking for Clyde. And they have found a location. And back at Store Labs, Cisco gives Barry an outfit that he designed for the fire department.
It actually looks really well done.
Yeah, it looks like it's a bit more... It looks more leather for the Flash costume. It doesn't look like that he just, sewed something together.
Yeah, definitely that's what they've been doing with a lot of superhero shows. They may update the costumes to look a little better. Definitely he's taken on a more New 52 look.
Yeah. So yeah, during this time, Clyde attacks Joe. Eddie's knocked out, and he creates a tornado to destroy Central City.
That doesn't work, because...
Wait. The Flash runs in and tries to unravel it by running in the reverse direction, which is a small thing to do.
And it works.
On the second try.
Yeah.
The only reason it works because Harrison Wells tells Barry that he was wrong, that he did deserve these powers, and that he can do great things with them, which motivates Barry to run super fast and destroy the tornado.
Which was really well done.
But Clyde is not very happy about this,
No, he's
and
not.
aims a gun at Barry in order to shoot him, but...
Joe West comes out of nowhere, fires 2 shots.
And Joe finally believes Barry that there are things out there that
That
can...
are not human, basically.
But they are human. Unexplained.
Impossible is what I would
Yes.
say.
And Joe wants Barry to make sure he doesn't tell Iris anything about this. He doesn't want his daughter to get involved with this kind of stuff. So, and then you have Barry visiting his father in jail, saying how proud he is to be his son, and that he's going to try to find the person who killed his mother. And then we get a surprise turn of events at the very end.
Yes, Harrison Wells decides, I'm going to go into my secret wall room that looks a little obvious, pulls and wheels up in his wheelchair, then gets up out of his wheelchair because he can walk. He was just being a faker. Good acting.
Yeah, I mean, the actor who plays Harrison Wells is amazing.
Uh,
He's the best part of the show.
He walks over to a pedestal kind of idea, puts his hand on it, up pops an article, Flash is missing during Crisis.
2024.
Which is
8 years from now.
which is they're referencing Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Well, maybe. They never really confirmed that.
Well,
In
yeah.
a later episode, it says Flash goes missing in a fight with Reverse Flash.
Yeah,
But it does say missing in Crisis, did that say?
that's what it said.
So maybe,
They're referencing Crisis on Infinite
yes,
Earth,
and just saying that the Flash is nowhere to be seen.
which is really close to actually what happens on Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Where he dies in that.
Yeah, so does Batman. Technically.
No, that's super good. He survives.
Oh yeah.
And so, what do you think of the Flash?
It like all shows, of course, needs work, but so far, it's really captivating. I'm definitely gonna go out and get myself a copy.
I think it's really well done. I like the effects. I think they got all the characters right, and I really do like the person who plays Harrison Wells. I think he's a great actor, and I really can't wait to see how they involve him down the line in the season. And I really like the person who plays Barry. I think he can capture that superhero in training and that hopeful look in the character that he's best known for. And the only character I think needs work is really Iris West. She doesn't really do anything in this episode. She's just there in the background.
She's more of like a motivational.
No, she really doesn't do that either.
No, true. She's more of just kind of like a background character to give just about nothing. Coffee.
Yeah. And yeah, and I really cannot wait to see how they develop the character down the line in the season, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm the Dynamic Do-Over, and I give this episode an 8 out of 10.
I'm the Death Dealer Films, and I agree, I will give this episode an 8 out of 10.
Till next time.
Bye.